This is Phase Ed Music. This is Phase Ed Music. This is Phase Ed Music. This is Phase Ed Music.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to
Week
that
5.
fantasy show.
Oh, Brian, you sound much louder this week. I like that.
It's the nasaliness.
Anyway, we are -1 this week. Miss Ella is enjoying her Sunday, and that's fine. She's just a kid. She's not as committed as we are.
The coin had a week off. Ella can have a week
Yeah, so we'll level up there. But just to keep in line with how we usually do, we like to start our show with the Pledge of Allegiance. So, Brian, I'll just go on ahead and take the lead on that one for us. You ready, bro?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yes, sir. USA. I love this country, bro.
Let's come together.
Anyway.
One country.
And then football is uniting. So no matter what side you're on, doesn't matter when it comes for football. And we've had a couple weeks off. There's been a lot going on in the football world, Brian. What do you think of the last few weeks?
I don't
big
know. Things are
takeaway.
shaping up. You kind of see who has an uphill battle for the rest of the season and who's kind of clear number ones out there. So I think the first 4 weeks really kind of clear things up for people, right? You kind of see the picture of what's going forward and who the duds are going to be. So.
Absolutely. You get a little taste of everything, and now you kind of know in the NFL which direction you're going. And for your fantasy team, you kind of know, like, okay, this is the kind of team I am. This is where I need help at. This is what I'm good at. So you're starting to see a little more of who you are this week. And this is a big week in fantasy matchups, too, because it's a make or break week for which direction you're going. If you're in a redraft league, obviously everybody's still trying to win and compete and get to the playoffs. But in a dynasty league, you might have to start looking to the future, as we may foreshadow a little bit and talk about the closing with Steve later. There may be a team tanking in that league. And,
yeah, I mean, it's our first time seeing that in 3 years we've been in that league, and things are shaping out differently. And that is the fun of Dynasty. You get to see different dynamics every year. It's not your same old redraft. So you got to do creative things if you want to get better moving forward without being able to redraft your team. So
absolutely, it's a beautiful dynamic just to see how you can actually put together a team that you're looking not just 1 year ahead, in some cases 2-3 years ahead. And we're in year 3 of that Closing with Steve Dynasty League, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But we wanted to kick off this week. We'll look at some of the points leaders so far from the season. There may be some surprises there, and there may be some usual suspects right at the top of the leaderboard there. So we'll just take a look at those whenever you're ready, Brian, and we'll just compare them to possibly where they were drafted or where they may be going in the future if they're sitting there now, and it may just be a little bit of a mistake, So we'll take a look at that, and then we'll also look at the rankings for this week, and we'll just see certain matchups. There's a lot of injuries, and a lot of people don't prepare properly for injuries, so we'll take a look at that.
Okay. Let's see here.
And you just throw up whatever we got, and we'll just go from there.
Pop it in there. So fantasy point leaders for the year, starting with defense, special teams. You got Seattle, Jacksonville, and Minnesota up the top there. 48, 46, 44 points respectively. And that's a pretty big gap to the next tier of teams there. 4-5, well, it's 4-4-6. You got 35, 35, 34 down there with the Philly, Detroit, and Indianapolis. But, I mean, coming into the year, that's not kind of – I wouldn't have expected that.
Yeah, and then, like I said, this position, that's why you don't need to draft this position high. These are all pretty average numbers. Besides that top one there, that one kind of sticks out a little bit. The rest of them, that's, kind of what you expect out of a game. You're expecting about 6 to 8 points if you're lucky, and if you get more than that, that's cool. But, this is a position where you're not just going to ride one for the whole year. However, I've had number 4 for all year.
Yeah.
I'm pleased with it, but I'm just keeping them because I know they're going to have matchups that will be lopsided. They've had some pretty tough matchups for fantasy purposes, but you could stream this position easily, and you could pick somebody up every week and be competitive.
I got 4 of these teams in 3 leagues, so I feel good about it. And I just picked one up to stream this week because we got one on bye down there, the Pittsburgh Steelers. So the Colts are a good plug for that, and that's what I did, and I would recommend it to you.
Absolutely. So that's just the leaders. Just goes to show you don't need to spend too much value in your draft. Again, kickers right here.
Kickers as well. I mean, Aubrey, he would have been the one consensus one. So, I mean, that's kind of paid off for you. He's still up there at number 2. But the other guys, it's kind of a dice roll. Matt Prater making a comeback late in his career. So anything can happen. And, don't hold allegiance to the kicker. You can stream them every
And again, the points total, they're like all pretty bunched together. Again, you don't need to spend value. I hate when I see a draft and people are in round 12 trying to pick their kicker because, they just got to have their kicker. No, use that value to get injury insurance for your starting running back or for a receiver or your quarterback.
It's been an injury-ridden few weeks. I mean, we didn't really touch on that in the opening, but, man, there's some big names that have went down. Holy crap.
Every year.
Yeah.
Don't we just, you hear this and then people
You
are
got a guy over
unprepared.
here, Burrow.
Burrow's out.
And poor guy. He's been hit more than anyone ever, it seems like.
Absolutely. So, like, you're just wasting draft capital when you're picking your kicker too early because obviously, right here, they're just bunched together. You could just throw a dart, get a kicker, and
Stream a kicker. I streamed the 49ers guy, and he had 3% start in ESPN leagues, and I streamed him in a league, and I feel real cool about
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
17 points.
not a bad night the other night.
Woo.
So
Yeah.
again, that's just the kickers right there. It just goes to show no need to draft them too high. You can get
Yeah.
value anywhere for there. But now we're going to get into some of the other stuff.
the
So
fun.
quarterbacks, and obviously 1 and 2 are exactly who should be 1 and 2. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. I wouldn't expect it any different. But then it shakes up a little bit. You see at number 7 there, known Daniel Jones supporter myself, sitting right there at number 7. Overall points.
I mean, he came out with a rocket on his back. I mean, he's kind of mellowed out a little bit, but he still has viability for the rest of the year, I would say.
I guarantee he was drafted in nobody's league. I can't imagine a league where he was drafted. And here he is sitting at number 7. If you'd have told us when we did week 1 of the fantasy show, and I'm a Daniel Jones supporter, I pumped him up week 1, but 7th place in overall points? No, I would have never thought that. So
And
good for
another
the young
guy
man
out
right
there,
there.
Drake May. He's looking promising now.
Absolutely.
I mean, he was definitely projected better this year than he was last year. He showed some promise towards the end of the year, but I mean, if you held on to him or if you have him now, you're a happy fellow. Let me tell you.
And foreshadowing, we'll get to that a little later when we talk about the trades in that dynasty league there.
So moving along.
And then, yeah, just running backs right here. Again, usual suspect, Christian McCaffrey making a return at the top.
People were weary on him this year, and he seemed to be worth the investment if you took him early in first round. So,
But all of these guys right here, besides Javonte Williams, the usual suspects, this is kind of how it was drafted. James Cook probably wasn't RB2 in most drafts, but guarantee he was in the top 7. That's definitely a touchdown-heavy guy right there.
so no names that really surprised you here.
Yeah, just Javonte Williams. Just, you expected something out of him, but he's performing really well down there in Dallas, so good for him. Again,
Tight ends.
this just tight ends. Again, we usually say this is a difficult position. You just take what you can get. But Ferguson coming in there, he's getting a lot of targets, a lot of work there in Dallas, especially with the Lamb injury. So
Yeah, Hunter Henry, he's shown promise. Every year he has like a big game, and then he's like a dud after that. But he might be able to stick up there this year. Another one, Brock Bowers, consensus number 1 tight end, is definitely not performing for you. And news that he might be out for a while. That is going to hurt if you took him early in a league.
exactly. So again, that's why you need insurance for your best players. I always preach that. Like I said, you don't want to just have a guy that you spent, especially when Bowers was going like round 2 for most people. He wasn't making it out of the 3rd round.
I would have suggested that to you. I'm sure I probably told that to some people,
and then,
including
like I said,
Haley.
Kyle Pitts making his appearance on this list. Jawan Johnson definitely wasn't drafted in leagues. It just goes to show you don't need to spend a lot of draft capital unless you got one of the top guys. If you drafted McBride or you drafted Bowers, I'm not necessarily mad. Besides the injury news, but you could have thrown a dart and done better here. Warren was at the bottom of most drafts. Hunter Henry probably wasn't drafted, so you could do good at this position.
You're going to get hit with injuries, and then it's very evident this year. A lot of first rounders already out for the season.
Absolutely.
So,
and then what do we got here? I think we go next to
the bread and butter, the receivers.
Puka
Puka.
Nacua. So
He's on pace to set the all-time reception yards in a season with none other than Matthew Stafford, who has the 2 highest reception season leaders ever in Calvin Johnson and Cooper Kupp. So
and it's crazy.
Stafford
He's
doing
averaging
Stafford
over
things.
like 10 receptions a game. That just sounds unheard of to just keep that kind of consistency
is
going.
Stafford like in his 40s yet? He has to be, right?
I feel like in my mind he is, but I don't think in real life he is. I don't know. We're gonna have to Google that.
I just feel like he's much older than me.
He's knocking on the door, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's not 40 yet.
But again, so this
I
is
don't
a position where Puka was definitely a first round pick. So him being number 1 there, that's definitely cool. I think Brown was picked around 1 or 2. So
Yeah.
some usual suspects there, but Odunze, you could have got him great value late, and Quentin Johnston, I guarantee he wasn't even drafted in most leagues. So it just goes to show you still got to be crafty. You can find some gems out there, and those are year 2 and 3 guys right there. Johnson is in year 3, and Rome Odunze is in year 2, and I always preach that these guys are going to come out of nowhere. So
Gary Wilson had always been up there, but he's in a 3 or 4 year guy too, and he's finally paying off for
God,
it.
got his quarterback that he played with in college too, right there. So, and then George
Mhm.
Pickens getting a
See what you did
decent
there.
quarterback play right there. Yeah, OH. So,
Oh no.
so anyway, and then actually there is a couple Buckeyes on that list right there. That is kind of surprising, but this goes to show, the first round receivers, you could have some scenarios where they struggle. That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be the points leaders, but I guarantee you that's going to change throughout the year. That's
Yeah.
not going to look like that in 2 weeks. It's not going to look like that at the end of the year. So,
Yeah, and it seems like every year, the first couple weeks, there's a guy that not very visible on waivers, but as the season goes on, if you pick them up, you feel real good. Like so, Quentin Johnson, like he had one game where it was like, do you want to pick him up or not? And then after that, it's like everybody's picking him up. So if you
Absolutely.
get him that first week that he looks like they look like they have promise, that's the way to do it.
And now
you're going to get more duds than not, but those are league winners there.
and that guy's a must start now in every league.
Mhm.
Everybody's going to start him. It just goes to show you still got to be crafty. You can't just go off of the preseason rankings and then just stick with that all year. This stuff changes literally every week. Some guy could have 3 good weeks. He could have 1 bad week and then get overtaken by somebody. So you got to stay locked in, especially if you want to win. Some people do this fantasy stuff and they just draft their team and then they may check their team once during the week. Okay, if that's your goal for this, like that's fine, but like that's not how you're going to win. You got to be locked in. You got to be on this waiver wire every week. You got to be keeping an eye on not just the rankings that we do every week. You got to look at the overall points leaders for the season because that matters. You
definitely use the tools and the filters when you're looking at the waiver to help you. Like there's a lot of different things. You can do trends to see a percentage of draft percentage. You could see roster percentage, up plus or minus. You could see who everyone else is looking at, and then total points. You want to look at total points because I mean, statistically speaking, averages keep being averages.
And numbers don't lie. You can read articles all you want. This guy's going to do this guy's not going to do that. The numbers don't lie. The points are going to be right there. This guy does this, and like I said, it changes every week.
Yep.
So got to be locked in.
The weekly rankings.
So yeah, we got our rankings lined up here, and defenses. Again, it just goes to show if you can see on the screen there highlighted in green, those are available defenses in the Closing with Steve Dynasty League. And like we said, there's cutthroat owners in that league. So just goes to show there's always going to be available defenses. So you never have to hold on. Like you said, Brian, you don't have to hold on to a defense and be loyal to it. You can change this every week. You don't like the matchup, change it. Like that's what I would do. Nothing really stuck out to me there. Kickers, again, this is just standard rankings. The green ones, they're available in our league right now. And goes to show no matter what, there's always going to be value at a kicker.
Keep in mind, Thursday already happened with the 49ers game. That homie put up 17, and he's not even in the top 12 here. So anything, like dart throw kickers, that just depends how the game goes.
And if you're on the fence about what to do about a kicker, as we talked about before, indoors is perfect. Good weather conditions is perfect. Offenses that score a lot is perfect. That's kind of where you want to go first.
What's the weather doing?
And then, and you want to look at total points. What's this kicker doing in total points? And then here goes quarterback matchups for the week. So obviously some of the usual suspects right there. Nothing really jumps out to me that looks out of place. So again, I agree with our friends here. It's just kind of you go with what you got. That's usually a position. You're just rolling with your guy. If you got Jalen Hurts, you're not starting him. If you got Daniels, you're not starting him if he's playing. So you don't have to worry unless there's injury concerns.
Yeah, and then these rankings, they're always going to be conservative to the big names at the top. It takes a lot of performance from lesser known names or lesser trusted names before they make a move up, such as Drake May, Baker, a couple of these guys. They might most likely be in the top 5 going forward, and you're just kind of undervalued right now. So that's kind of where you use your gut in fantasy. It really can help you win or lose. So
yeah, so hopefully you're locked and loaded there.
Yeah, another page of quarterbacks here.
So it just goes to show there's available talent. Again, this is a cutthroat league right here. There's still some guys available. If you did have injury concerns, if you haven't solved your Joe Burrow problem yet, that's pretty much the only one that's like major right now. But there's some talent out there. Like I said, you want to go with what's going to fit your needs. You're not just going to want to stand pat. If you're streaming this position and a guy didn't do well last week, no need to hang on to him this week. But
first week of buys too, you're probably going to make some moves on the waiver if you want to start a full lineup.
Yeah, so you want to be crafty, and again, don't necessarily be concerned with NFL matchup because a guy could get blown out and still get fantasy points in garbage time. So, there's some names here I would pick up if I had to, but I'm not
Oh,
really
yeah.
concerned. But yeah,
Running
it's
backs.
quarterbacks. So running backs, again, usual suspects right here. Nothing really sticks out to me. Is different there. Brees Hall. That's like I said, that's still a name that I don't know. It's hard for me to trust that up and down. And the Jets offense, they're definitely moving the ball.
I mean, they're doing stuff. It's just is it gonna stick or not? I don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, a lot of this trust in Genty, obviously a little slow to get going out of the
Oh,
gate
let me
there.
tell you about Genty there. 3 weeks of crap, and then you're on the bench, bro, and he puts up 30 points. You're like, God dang it.
Yep.
That was one
So
of them. But luckily, I had picked up Judkins and started him, so it was like kind of not the worst thing in the world. But a lot
yeah.
of people are crying if they didn't keep him in the line.
Yeah, so with the young guys, like I said, if you're going to stick with them, you got to stick with them. But those rookies, they usually take a little bit to get going. And then rounding out, that top 12, like I said, if you got those guys, you're starting them. They all have decent matchups. I look for Henry to get back on the touchdown board after having some fumbling issues. Taylor, Gibbs, I like those guys to obviously score touchdowns, so that's going to help your team out. Hampton's getting a lot of work there, looking good in
Yeah,
that
that was another
offense.
slow start. That was it kind of left you uneasy, but
Yeah,
yeah, things
so
are turning around.
and then, I got another page of running backs here. Again, this is
Ooh.
just some areas you got these guys. Some of these people, this is their RB1s
These are some
right here.
waivers in here. Judkins, Scadaboo. We don't know. Yeah, Woody Marks. I don't think he's drafted in most leagues. Like some of these dudes are just like, yeah, you picked
Yeah,
them up
he
on
wasn't
waivers.
even. I picked him up on waivers. He wasn't even drafted in the Closing with Steve Dynasty League, and that was 2 rounds of rookies and searching. So it just goes to show, even the rookie rankings preseason, they can be wrong. These guys can get opportunities and make the best of it. That guy's set up for success.
Yep.
Actually, I have him in both leagues. I love him, but I'm not starting him today. I still need. I need to see a little more. Plus, I have number 1 and number 5 on the list.
Okay,
The list
I was
this
gonna
week.
say.
So
I mean, you're not starting.
yeah, that's the reason I'm not starting him. But if you don't have any better options, I'd be locked and loaded here. And like I said, usual suspects. Jordan Mason is a name. That game's going on right now. It's not looking so well. So if you do have him, that one's kind of tough. But rounding out there, Chase Brown off to a slow start this season. Hopefully, you got better options. I don't necessarily like his option today going against that tough Lions defense right there. But like I said,
I've seen some memes about the game. I won't talk about it.
Rashad White there on that list, getting a lot of work with Bucky Irving being out. I definitely like him. If you have him, you're excited. And again, if you had Bucky Irving as your RB1, hopefully you picked up White. You want insurance for like one of your best players. So
there's a few teams where they got the cowbell back. It's worth just stashing that back up.
Absolutely.
That dude goes out, next dude's just gonna get that volume immediately.
It's the best thing you can do for your team. Like I said, instead of picking your defense in round 10, go ahead and get the backup running back to your guy who's your star player.
Don't hold backup defenses
and then
tight end,
I got another
kickers,
round 2 running backs here.
Round
so
2 running backs.
there's a waiver wire pick still available in the Closing with Steve League. Again, that just goes to show that there's still some talent out there. You got to start any of these guys. Hopefully these are your flex or RB3 in certain scenarios. I'm not the most excited if any of these guys are my RB1 or RB2. There's some decent matchups. Charbonnet coming back after injury. I like him to get Rico Dowdle getting a lot of work now with Hubbard being out. Those are big names I like for today. Definitely don't like anything towards the bottom of that list. So just matchup dependent. Hopefully you can pick a better matchup. Waiver wires there in Arizona. Not really sure. DeMercado, it could be Carter. Who knows? I picked up DeMercado myself. It could be Carter getting all the work. So it's kind of just, you're going to have to just pay attention and see how it goes and go from there. But yeah, that's for running backs. And,
we got a question in the chat.
Chat, let's go.
Devonta Smith or Chris Godwin at flex?
Oh, wow. I'm taking Smith. I expect the offense there in Philly to actually use the receivers a little more just because of the scrutiny. That's just what I would go personally.
What are the matchups today with those teams?
I don't have the full thing set up right here in front of me. I have the Eagles. I don't remember who the Eagles are playing. Is it sitting right here? Yeah, the Eagles are playing the Broncos. So
That's a
They
pretty
got a good
defense
secondary
going,
there. Yeah, Denver's got a good secondary. So now I'm not necessarily the most excited.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
Seattle, Tampa Bay's playing Seattle.
And Godwin's still warming up from coming back from that
Yeah,
injury.
it's tough
that
to
put him
trust
out.
that coming back from injury.
But I mean,
But
it
with
might be the week he breaks out.
maybe I go with Godwin. Maybe I'm going to switch off of that just because that matchup there for Philly, and then they're not getting a lot of targets
Bucks
to
are
the
playing
receivers.
Seattle, so that's two of the
Yeah, I'm going to trust
performing
Baker.
defenses. Yeah, Baker.
I'm going to trust Baker
Yeah.
throwing it to Godwin there. I'm going to change my own mind. I hope
Godwin?
that helps.
That's
Yeah,
where I
for
would have
Godwin.
went.
Yeah.
That was my gut initially was Godwin. So
But I was
Mo,
going to check. Did we get going on TikTok? I forgot since
dude.
we got the chat
Yeah, we're on
there.
the TikTok.
If we're live on TikTok, let me see how I can find.
I don't know how we can look
our,
at it because we're both logged into the account, and I think you need a different account logged in to watch it.
Yeah, I can't.
I would need
watch
like
it now.
Allie's phone and see. If
Well,
there's
either
chats
way,
in
if there's
there.
comments out there, sorry we can't get to it. We're gonna move
We'll
right
figure it
along
out
with our
eventually.
rankings. We do see the YouTube
If you're on
comments.
the TikTok though, you should be able to get to the YouTube.
Yeah,
and you
follow
can
us
chat in there.
and subscribe on YouTube.
Yeah.
We could see your comments. We can definitely help. We could just offer opinions. Like I said, we've been wrong before, but we've
Yeah.
definitely been right more than we've been wrong for sure.
I mean, hopefully.
Well, moving on to tight ends here in rankings. Again, there's waiver wire guys available in top 10. You could throw darts for tight ends if you
Yeah.
don't have one of the top guys.
We were just talking tight ends because Bowers looks like he's out for a while. They didn't officially designate him as out yet, but I mean the projections are showing him as out. So
I'm not happy if I got him.
if you got Bowers, check your team right now.
So again, this is pretty typical right here. And like I said, you could have drafted these guys very late outside of Laporta, McBride, Bowers, any of these guys you could have got in your
Yeah.
rounds 8 or 9. So you should have been loading up on running backs and receivers and then address tight end later.
Right.
Hopefully you did that like I did. Anyway, I do have a second round of tight ends here.
Darren Waller coming back.
Darren Waller making an appearance right there.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a explosive week last week.
Two
so.
touchdown grabs back there, and they're pretty athletic catches, if I say so myself. Yeah, a lot of dudes out there that still on
like
the
I said,
rise.
right here, there's tons of names you can plug and play a tight end. It doesn't matter. You're going to get around the same production as we saw with the season leaders, 8 to 14 points if you're lucky. Touchdown dependent with tight ends. And then receivers again. Here goes this week's rankings.
It's following the the overall point score for the season pretty closely. I mean, you got some guys peeking up there that they're expecting to do more, like Justin Jefferson. I think we like him to do some big things today. Man, you got a lot of these dudes on your team there. in blue.
I like receivers, obviously, and I stashed one of these people. I've had Quentin Johnson on my team for 3 years. I remember trading Odell Beckham for Quentin Johnson in a second in his rookie year, and I sat through all of this dude can't catch and
Yep.
whatever. I've always believed in that dude. I'm a known supporter, especially when you're getting piled on for just like mistakes. Like some of it's just overbearing. So I supported that dude. When you're down, hey, I got your back. Anyway, like I said, there's a lot of good matchups here today. Obviously, our friends agree with that. If you got any of these guys, wonderful. Worthy coming back there. Worthy owners. He obviously was injured. He's back. Welcome that. Jamar Chase, even though without Joe Burrow, he's still getting targets. You're not the most excited, but that Lions secondary isn't necessarily performing the greatest right now.
Yeah, there have been some questionable things going on.
Little thin in the secondary there. And then plus being down, I expect them to be down in that game. So they're going to have to throw the ball a lot. And, hopefully that equates to Jamar Chase owners, who he was drafted pretty much 1 or 2 in most leagues.
Even T. Higgins was a upper single-digit round pick for people.
Yeah,
and that's
so
been unfortunate.
You're just hoping for whatever you can get right there. But Ibuka wasn't drafted in most leagues, and he's going to be consistently near the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, that would have been a good
this
stash
week,
at the beginning of the year, like a
and
late round grab.
Pickens went where in the draft? Pickens was going
Sleepers.
like later rounds. So, if you were crafty in your draft, you got one of these top ranked guys for this week. But if you drafted running backs first, you'd probably be having receivers that would be on the next slide whenever you're ready for that one, Brian. There's names right here. These guys could have got drafted anywhere. McMillan was drafted later. Myers was drafted later. Samuel was drafted. He was drafted probably mid. Waddle making an appearance now.
Waddle.
With Hill being
Hill's
out.
out, yeah,
Waddle's
Waddle's-
going to get a lot of targets. You know what
And then
happens
that tight
with
end we
them.
talked about too,
Yeah.
Darren Waller. Oh man,
They got to throw the ball to somebody.
Yeah.
So, and then for fantasy purposes, like I said, the win or loss in the game doesn't matter. For fantasy purposes, you want all that. Keenan Allen making an appearance back, playing with the Chargers, back with his quarterback. Looks
I
looks
mean,
Pro Bowl worthy again.
you would have
know.
thought McConkey would have been the guy on that team there, but now you've seen Quentin Johnson and Keenan Allen,
And
looking like
he's
the
just
dudes.
steady. You know, he's a
Yeah.
big target. He's steady. You can count on that. Wandale Robinson now with Neighbors being out
Yeah.
and Jackson Dart slinging the ball around over there.
Slanging.
So, you know, you're excited if you got any of these guys on this list. You're going to roll
Smoke 'em
with
if you
them.
got 'em.
And a lot of these guys you could have got late value in your draft. So congratulations.
Yeah.
And this is the third level of receiver rankings. There's some people in here that were drafted much higher. As you
Yeah.
said, T. Higgins was drafted higher. McConkey was drafted higher.
Yeah, Ladd, I don't know, dropped into the third option there.
Brian Thomas Jr. even up there. So, you know, some of those first round guys, you know, they fell. Hopefully you did your homework.
Yeah.
And there's still some value guys here
these
too.
are still flex worthy guys on this page.
So, and then there's another round here of receivers. Again, this is where we get into there's
deep.
some available guys. If you have to start one of these guys, that means you're probably strong somewhere else. But again, there's some guys, Travis Hunter, that were drafted higher. If we're just being honest, Keon Coleman, he's a name that, you know, could be a little higher. That Buffalo offense, they just spread the ball around
Yeah, it's hard.
too
He's
much.
definitely
but,
an athletic guy. We're not going to question that.
talented kid. He's going to have boom and bust weeks.
Yeah,
so you just
so
got to roll with that. But
It's kind of a prayer if you're starting him in a
but
flex spot.
there's some options there, and that's about it for rankings.
Yeah,
I
that's our
believe.
ranking. So, I mean, this is our usual Ella's Pick 6 segment.
So Ella's
on a bye.
on a bye week too.
Yeah.
And that's cool. But we do have everything loaded up. We wanted to check Ella's record, and then we were pitting Ella against a coin flip. And I do have the stats for that. And since the coin flip wasn't a part of week 1, and Ella's not a part of week 5, we were all on a bye for week 4. We're just going to go ahead and let the coin flip take over for this week, and then we'll add that record up. And then they'll have the same amount of games, and then we'll move forward. And we'll see Ella's pick 6 versus a coin flip.
Ooh.
So here we go, Brian. Oh, the graphics look great on screen.
Yeah, they do.
Pops. I got
Don't
those
come
new
after us.
graphics for all the logos. We're rolling good. So, yeah, this is for the season. Ella went 3-3 in week 3. Those are the matchups right there. On the season,
2 weeks ago.
she's 10-8 on the season. That's 3 weeks worth of picks.
Coin is 6-6. This coin is staying statistically sound. Right at a
Yeah, the
flip.
coin went 4-2 and then 2-4. So it wasn't
Even
an
itself
even
out.
3-3, but it did
Yeah.
end up leveling out. And we're just gonna roll forward for this week, but with the coin flip. So
Yeah, let's see how we're going to do this.
you
Bang.
get that coin flip ready. We're going Giants at the Saints, I believe it was, and we were doing
The
road. Road was heads.
The left side was heads.
Yeah,
Right side
so they
tails.
got tails, and I
That's the
believe
right-
that was the Saints.
Saints.
So
Coin
the
taking the
coin
Saints.
has the Saints. We'll keep it moving. Raiders and Colts. Coin, what do you got? Raiders on the road. Colts at home.
Taking the home team. Right?
Coin is going to take the Raiders. The coin's going down this week. Ella would have did way better than this.
The home team. I know.
Okay, what we got next? Okay, the thingamajig, the car thingamajigs. Isn't that what she called it one time?
Yeah, the car thingamajig.
The car thingamajigs. And the Cardinals. Yeah, she likes that team. She would have picked the Cardinals right here. For sure. They got the car thingamajigs. Titans.
Car thingamajig.
Okay. Man, the coin's really going down this week. That
Yeah,
coin's going
coin's
0-3
really-
so far.
This one,
Uh,
I don't know. This looks like a premier matchup this week.
I actually can't wait to watch this game. Sunday night game. This is going to be split between that and watching our Tigers, the local Tigers.
Yeah.
But
making that playoff run. Sorry about Cleveland.
it's okay. You win some, you lose some.
Yeah.
Guardians didn't move on. That's neither here nor there. We're going to support the Tigers now.
Bills, they're taking the
Anyway, they're taking the
Bills.
Bills. Okay, that
Buffalo.
coin might be onto something there. You know, the coin ain't going to lose all of them. Statistically, that's impossible.
Well, it's possible, but it's very slim. Okay, so yeah,
Yeah, we know what Ella would have picked here.
Got the
Let's see what the
chefs,
coin would have
the
done.
cat thingy-majigs.
Ella would have easily been on the Taylor Swifts. The coin is on the Jaguars. A lot of people are trendy calling that the Monday night upset.
Yeah.
I could I could see. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. I'd probably take them in the plus points, honestly.
Jags are thirsty. Ooh,
Okay, so this is a tough one because Ella likes both of these teams a
yeah.
lot.
Would she stick with the local team or her?
She has merch for
Oh,
both.
yeah.
Okay, but I
Well,
have been informed she would have picked the Lions for today.
we're done
Let's
the
see what the
field.
coin would have done.
Flipping a coin.
The coin's
Tails.
taking the Bengals. Who they coin?
Holy
Who
crap.
they think gonna
What?
beat them Bengals?
What?
Nobody.
Can we hit the what?
Oh yeah, I got that. That's gonna be a good matchup. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll talk about that a little bit later. As we're both repping our team colors. Yeah, I mean we could just get into that right now. How do you feel about that matchup? More of the same for your team, or
It's a trap game.
you
a trap.
think my guys got a chance?
I don't know. The memes are like NFL has to institute a mercy rule in this game, that kind of stuff. I do think the Lions win comfortably. Maybe it starts off a little closer than we want, but they come out strong second half. But I don't know the way they've been playing. Not many people can stop them. I think so.
So you know me.
Yeah.
I'm Mr. Conspiracy Theorist and all of that. So
What's the money?
whenever everybody is like in agreement on something or saying the same thing, I'm starting to question it a little bit because usually everybody just don't agree on stuff. There's natural disagreements in anything, especially when it's involved just two teams playing and you ask 100 people, all 100 are not going to say one team. But this is a case where all 100 would probably say the Lions are going to win. The research is going to
Ella
show.
has reaffirmed the Lions in the chat.
Yes.
So Ella peeking up in the chat. We see you there. We also got Jaws in the
Hey, babe.
chat. Shout out to Jaws.
But the consensus would be the Lions are going to win. The Lions are the
Right.
much better team, and the Bengals are just dealing
Well,
with an
look
injury.
at last
No
week.
Burrow.
Everyone picked Baltimore in all the TV segments, and who won? The Lions.
So that's what happens, and I'm just banking it off of that. Especially Jake Browning, he can't get any worse. Maybe some nerves. The dude can play. That's still an offense that is capable of scoring 30 of game. With decent quarterback play. The defense has definitely performed better. They've been. Outside of the last 2 weeks, it's just been some turnovers, and then it just kind of snowballed. So it's looked worse than it's actually been. If you kind of know ball, when you look at the bottom line, it doesn't look good. But
They're capable more because they've done it with Browning before. I don't know what's going on this time around. Maybe
exactly.
it could be the old line that's been Burrow's downfall that's affecting Browning as well. But
So it's just a case where when you watch all the pregame shows, you're going to see all the analysts. Everybody's going to pick the Lions in this one. It's just going to be everyone's going to be in agreement. It's a no doubter. So just for that reason, I think the Bengals got a shot. And if you're betting,
there's always a road game for the Lions where they're like clear favorites that they struggle. Like every year, doesn't matter how good they are. There was Carolina the one year I think they dropped 2, and it was like what. So
yeah, and then if it's 52-7 or 52-10, cool. Okay, I get it. The Lions, obviously, they're a high-powered machine. They're on their way to a Super Bowl run. I wouldn't expect anything less than that. But I'm just saying, don't sleep on the Houday boys today. They might be able to pull something out. And in those scenarios,
gonna stick.
and absolutely, I wouldn't expect nothing less. But in those scenarios, the way for the Bengals to win would not be to beat the Lions at their own game. They would need some luck. You would need some turnovers. You would need.
They got the home field advantage.
Yeah, you would need some stuff to fall your way. It's not going to be. We're not going to go pound for pound, bar for bar today. Anyway, that's for those matchups right there. So
what else do we got in the hopper here?
So I wanted to talk about the Closing with Steve League. We could talk about some trades first, and then we could go into the browser and look into the matchups if you want. But in the drive there, I got some trades set up. Again, Closing with Steve is our Dynasty League if you haven't been following along, and that's where you just keep your players at the end of the year after year after year. You draft rookies each year, and we're in year 3 of this league, and we got our first tanking situation, as you said earlier. And it's a scenario where, you don't think you can compete for a championship the current year. And the best thing you can do for a dynasty team in that scenario is get younger, acquire picks to make yourself better for the future. If you keep trying to compete at your mid-level, you're almost doing yourself a disservice. So we haven't really had a scenario like that where there was a clear-cut case.
Yeah, so year 3
But now we got
Closing with Steve League and California Wildfire. They're having a fire sale. I see
what you did there. Hold on.
All right, so
this
trade
was
number
the
1.
first trade, and I liked this one. I just
Washington Sentinels. They're trading away Drake May and a pick, so you got some young talent for C.J. Stroud and Dobbins. I mean,
And each team has their own reason why they would make a trade. So we would have to ask each owner this individually. But just from an outsider's perspective, I see where the Wildfire acquired their QB of the future, Drake May, in Dynasty rankings. He's QB 6 for the future.
yeah. So if
for
you held
Dynasty
on to him,
rankings.
he's paying off in Dynasty. I mean, you would have had to have really been committed to him.
So he's
Yeah.
set up for the next 2 to 5 years. Especially New England looks decent now,
Yeah.
and they don't even have the best receivers right now. Picture when they can go out and get a receiver, or they draft somebody that becomes better. So that's good for that. And then the Sentinels there, they added some firepower themselves there. Going ahead and getting Dobbins. That's
Yeah.
somebody that can help
Dobbins
you right
is looking
now.
good this year.
He
Then
can fill
Stroud-
in and get you some
yeah.
touchdowns.
Stroud he's shown that he could be good. It's just a matter of the team turning around a little bit.
And that's plug and play. And then there was a pick involved there. So then this is also the Wildfire. He traded away running back. This was a lot of people's RB1. Williams was going within the first 3 rounds, I would say for sure.
Yeah. So then with these draft picks, you kind of have to gauge where you think that team's going to land at the end of the year to see what the real value is going to be. But generally, a round 1 pick is pretty good anywhere across the board. So, I mean, that's good for Wildfire.
Yeah,
Exactly,
loading
no
up on the
round one.
picks. He wasn't going to do nothing this year. I mean, he may still have an outside chance to compete, but like I said,
Yeah.
it may not have been for a championship. So again, a lot of people don't understand the tanking strategy.
Right.
I'm locked in. I understand everything that's going on here, and this is going to be a team to be dealt with in
Yeah.
about 2-3
This
years.
one, I might
so.
not have done this one. I might have went for something a little more concrete. Like I said, you don't know where Las Vegas is going to end the year.
Right,
So,
because that's a good
that
owner in that
scares me.
team right there.
Yeah, so I mean, that team could end up being
you think he
better.
maybe could have got more for
Probably,
Williams?
I think so.
think
That's why I'm saying. But I mean, he's got a lot of bulk here, so you might have overlooked this one.
Yeah,
If you look at it with blinders on, you're like, I don't know. But with the overall things that he did, it makes sense.
getting the pick is crucial.
Yeah.
And then this was another pick that's not involving the tanking team, but McMillan, rookie receiver, pretty much number 1 rookie receiver.
He's out there performing already. Like he's putting in work, giving you some good fantasy value.
Getting good targets,
Yeah.
up and down offense there in Carolina. But again, and this was where a pick was involved because a first was
Yeah.
traded. Shaheed, that's just kind of filler for this, but this is
Right.
where a
It's just
pick was
giving you someone
involved.
to
So
plug in your lineup. But yeah, I mean, I see what happened here. This is giving Arrowville Mean Machine some firepower and McMillan, and then Outlaw. He just finagling a round 1 pick. And
yeah,
then
he reacquired a pick. He just
Yeah.
traded a pick. He got a round 1 pick
Yeah,
back.
so
So
I see
again,
what's
this is
going on.
how expert fantasy players operate, and I love it. And then again, another expert level trade right here. This was filling depth for Allenville. He
Yeah.
wanted to get deeper with Montgomery right there, and then trading Tracy. That's so that
Yeah,
owner
so
that
Washington
acquired
reacquired a
Tracy.
pick too, right?
Yeah, and then the owner that acquired Tracy, he has Scadaboo too. So now you got both guys. So Scadaboo's out. Boom, we put Tracy in.
Yeah.
Again, that's an expert level move. Making sure you got one of your best players, backups. You wanna fill in right there. It's not just all about having one good guy. Okay,
You need insurance in these dynasty leagues because you have extra bench spots for future development, and also you gotta help yourself now. So.
It's a smart thing to do. Again, great trade by these owners here. And then here's another trade by a team that hasn't really made a trade. The owner of the Detroit Ballers. Shout out to E.
Yeah.
I specifically was in person with this owner while this trade talk was going on. And, again, this is switching some receivers. Pearsall
Yeah.
may be more valuable in the future. Addison more valuable now.
Yep.
Pick swapping involved there again.
Yeah, so I think Wildfire definitely went up with round 1 and future play of Pearsall, but yeah, Addison's going to give you value now, and then you still get a round 2 pick out of it, so you still get a pick, and you're trying to help yourself now with the baller situation.
Absolutely. The Ballers, they're making a playoff push, and they're doing what they got to do to compete for the now. So that takes the Wildfire. I believe they have 5 picks now, maybe even it's 6, but I'm pretty sure they have 5 picks. 3 firsts, 2 seconds. So locked and loaded again. Trades like that for a Dynasty League, the most regular novice fantasy players, they're not going to see action like that, but
No.
you just wanted to show a glimpse of how expert level players operate, and that's what you got to do in a Dynasty League. You want to compete, you need to make moves like that. You don't want to
Wow.
stand pat.
Just watching Joku hurl a guy over there, and the
It's
Browns.
hilarious. What do we
Vikings
got in
game.
the score of that game as? Usually there's not a game while we're going live here, but
I know. Well,
my hometown Cleveland Browns. I'm not the biggest supporter of them,
All
but
right. The Browns are knocking on the door,
knocking on the
14-10.
door.
They're
So
climbing from behind, but
see what happens here.
is Judkins going? Ooh,
Absolutely.
give me
So
some Judkins.
again, exciting day of football. As we had the bye week last week, we both had things going on. I'm excited to get back to the action today.
Took my pilgrimage to Salem, Massachusetts for my fulfill my spooky soul.
Yeah,
So
it's beautiful out that way.
yeah. Oh man, it's hot as heck out this time of year though. This is not normal.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, it's
We're
not typical
sweating
fall
80.
weather in this
I
part
think
of
we
the
might have hit
country.
90 yesterday, and that's
Yeah,
dude.
I
These
shouldn't be wearing
costumes.
shorts.
No, these costumes are made for insulation, and now everybody's out there sweating. You're doing the
Yeah.
trunk or treats, and man,
It's pretty brutal. As we're sitting here watching the Browns on their third down play, they're going to rush it on 3rd and 1, and they got stopped. So now they're going to a 4th and 1. We're just going to play-by-play call this for a quick second because it looks like they may go for it. The offense is still on the field.
yeah, the Cleveland football team. And
If I'm being
the
honest,
Minnesota
I'm them. I'm
football
kicking
team.
the field goal. But the offense is staying on the field. We're at 4th and 1, and they're about the 8-yard line. We're just going to stick here with this for a second.
Yeah.
I'd kick the field goal here, Brian. There's still plenty of time in this game. You don't
Yeah.
want to leave points on the board. They're in the 11-yard line. And it's not like this offense moves up and down the field. It's a rookie quarterback. I'd take the points personally, but let's see
Yeah.
what they do here in 4th and 1.
This
Looks
is
like they're
scary
going to
though,
run.
because I mean, if you miss it, you still kind of leave them in a tight spot.
It's definitely a handoff.
Oh, he made it.
Oh, he almost got stopped. Luckily,
Yeah.
he made a nice move there.
Yeah,
So he picked up 3 yards. He
Ran
got the
through a
first down.
tackle. He did it.
Good for him. So
Good
now they get
job.
a fresh set of downs. So you
All
see
right.
why they did that.
Yeah.
And we'll keep it moving. We'll keep
Keep
the
moving
chat
here.
updated
Let me,
as that's going. So the only thing I got left, Brian, I had some betting things I'm leaning on. The last time we did this, I actually placed the bets, and then the next day, 2 of the guys didn't even play. They were just voided. And
yeah, that's a bummer.
so I didn't specifically place, but I have a couple things lined up that we could just sit here and debate about real quick. So these are touchdown guys that I like. Not saying I'm going to play it in a parlay because I'm learning my lesson that I might as well just play everything straight up. But
yeah, if you want to get some return, right?
I like these guys to score. Obviously, the minus 200 somethings. My guy D-Rock Locks, shout out to him right now. Dude's on fire. But anyway, he told me before when it's minus 200 something, like the stuff's hitting, bro. Like
Yeah.
so any of those guys right there, obviously not a lot of value. Maybe those are parlay pieces, but they're hitting. I like Scattaboo, just that matchup right there. And Garrett Wilson, like I said, he's scoring in every game he's playing with Justin Wilson here. Justin Fields. So I like that matchup right there. But I like that matchup right there. I like these guys to score. I don't know if you disagree with any of them, but
I mean, obviously the receivers are definitely a longer shot.
a little
Wilson.
tougher.
A little tougher. I mean, the goal line work for the running backs is definitely there. I think one of those 200 guys doesn't hit though. Taylor, Gibbs, or Cook.
Nice.
One of them's not going to hit.
See that info's valuable to know before I place these bets. So anyway, these were the odds last night when I was making these, and the odds move a lot too when you're in this. So I'm excited to see what they look like when we're done filming here, and then we'll go from there. Those are just guys I like. Like I said, anything else, they're more of dart shoots.
Yeah, it's
So
possible.
these are sides or totals that I like. We could sit here and debate.
I like
but
the over on the Detroit Cincinnati.
yeah,
game.
again, that's a game where we just talked about that could be a little
Njoku
shootout.
with a touchdown there. Oh.
Ooh, Njoku, the Browns take the lead there.
Yeah.
But the Giants, I don't understand how these odds were last night. It was about 1 a.m. when I was making these slides. The Giants being plus odds playing against the Saints. The Saints obviously have not looked good all year. This is easy money for me. I'm most confident in that. That's why it's at the top of the list right there. I'm playing that in some form or fashion straight up. Again, we just talked about that Lions-Bengals game. That could be a shootout. The Lions could go ahead. The Bengals could have to get some garbage time points.
Yeah.
That's 25-25 right there if you're splitting that in half. I think that could easily be 30-something, 20-something game. It's close, but I think that goes over. Chargers? I don't know. Like I said, not the most excited because that's like a decent matchup, but I just think them at home. The Commanders ain't looking like last year's Commanders.
Right.
Daniels is back. But
yeah. I see that one. I like the New England against
the New England.
there.
I just think that game's going to be close.
Yeah,
a division game.
It just seems like New England's on the rise. They own that division for the better part of 2 decades, and then they're finally getting okay again. There's going to be some little extra grit in that game.
And that's a big spread. That's a well-coached team by Vrabel there to just have a spread like that, even on the road. And this is Buffalo in October. This isn't Buffalo in December. So it's not like the weather's going to affect this game that much. I really like that. I can't wait for that. That's
The only
gonna.
one I'm weary on is that last one there, over 44.5.
So again, I like your input on that. You think is it too high for those teams, or
I would parlay all these except that last one. I feel like that game could be lower.
it most likely is set up for that, and obviously that's just a low over under total right there.
Yeah.
So the only thing is that stuck out to me when I'm looking at all the over unders. They're all mostly in the 49s, right around there.
Yeah.
And then I saw that, and I'm like, but both of those teams, Seattle put up 40 a couple weeks ago, and Tampa obviously has a high scoring offense, getting Godwin back. So I know this one could.
It worries me because I think it could be more of a back and forth game where it's not so much a
100%.
throwing punches. It might just be a little. It's one of those games they're going to be. I think they'll be struggling to score
And
points,
it's
personally.
just something that stuck out to me while I was looking. I'm excited to see what it looks like today with today's eyes. Obviously, when people place bets, these lines move. So
Yeah.
maybe that's going to look different when I look at it. Maybe that could be 46. Maybe it could be down to 43 or 2. If that goes lower, I'm definitely on it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna probably parlay the top 4 there just
'Cause
to
like I said,
get in on something.
if you split that in half, 22-22, that could easily be a 24-20 game. I know that's still under right there, but that's pretty close. I wouldn't be upset with that. And again, that's just, I was doing some research last night. I could get deeper into those if we wanted, but again, just things that stuck
Oh,
out to me. And then
The
this
format
one,
changed. Give me a
yeah,
second
this
here.
one is just
We gotta fix
both
that.
both things together.
Uh,
It's nothing crazy.
Oh, you just
Yeah, I was really
okay.
handy in the photo grid last night. I didn't know which way we would use.
Okay.
And then I just wanted to talk about those things with you before I actually placed the bets.
Yeah. So
And then again, like I said, I shouted out my boy D Rock's Locks. The dude's on fire right now. He was a friend of the show. Obviously, he was on the Super Ultra Mega Fantasy Football
Yeah.
Show special, and the dude's doing well right now. He's on fire. He's 21 of the last 24 lock of the days.
That's
It's
good
an
return.
insane run. Again, good people. The guy places smart, logical bets. He's not reaching for nothing. So we may have him on here in the future. We're excited to welcome him back to the show and pick his brain about what goes into how he bets. Because, some people are just, looking with their eyes, what they see. I watched the game last week, and some people are locked into these stats and where the betting money is going. And, 90% of the money's on this. I'm going to go this way. And, there's a lot more into it. You could look into betting as
to fade the
an
public.
investment, or it could be, like an income stream. So,
Yeah.
for some people, they take this a little more serious than us. I would say we're a little more chill with it. I pay attention and, I shoot some shots, but, yeah, the betting life, it's pretty serious. It's cutthroat out there. And there's guys that are obviously much better in this. So it's not that betting show. So obviously that's not our expertise, but we dabble. We
A
dabble.
little bit. I like to
Little
get
bit.
my toes wet.
A little bit here and there. And I'm actually doing well this season.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not winning as much as I would want to, but who doesn't want to win more? But I'm doing okay. Decent year.
Yeah. I mean, I've kind of laid off a little bit. Just spooky season gets me very occupied. If you don't know me, and
We're locked
just
into that
focusing
year right
on some
now.
other things. I mean, football obviously on the weekends, but during the week,
Yeah. Well, like we said before, we're family guys. We got stuff going on,
we got
busy
stuff
lives.
going
I work a lot.
on. Oh, shout out to Ella, Mister this week. Prayers up for Archie.
Yeah.
He's Archer's on IR for the rest
We're
of the
down
season.
2 this week.
Yeah, so
Yeah, injuries are tough. Boys will be boys, as they say. And
yeah.
Ella will be fine. She
We
just
roll with
wanted
the
to
punches.
catch up on some rest there, but
Yeah.
excited to see that balance out with the coin. So we'll see
Yeah.
how that looks. Again, if you tuned in, thank you. We appreciate our supporters.
Yeah.
We know this isn't the greatest show, but we're just laying our bricks, foundation getting built as we speak.
Yeah,
So
we're out here for the fun. The TikTok, if you're out there, make your way over to YouTube. Get a little like and subscribe.
we
gonna
haven't figured out how to see our comments yet.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We're middle-aged dudes. We're not the best navigators of TikTok
I mean,
yet, but
I mean, I'm capable of a few things, but We'll figure it out.
We don't know
We'll
what
figure
we
it
don't know. But anyway, again, thanks for tuning in. We went over the rankings, the leaders. Hopefully, we provided you some perspective
Yeah.
on what you got to do today. If you got some injuries out there, good luck. I myself had to fill a position. I'm waiting on news on my tight end as we speak, if he's going to play or not. And
Well, him looking like Bowers isn't playing, so you got Bowers. Get on your waivers now.
yeah, hopefully you get everything figured out. So
You're
again,
waking up feeling like, whoa, what is this?
so what you think? How'd we do this week?
I feel good, man.
Covered every base.
We covered the bases. We flowed through it. I didn't think we stumbled up too much, so
We did our thing.
we're putting out a good product there.
Plugging away. Jersey wall looks beautiful today.
Yeah, we had a complete
Screens were
rearrangement.
popping.
We had some renovations in the basement, and yeah,
We're locked and
we're
loaded.
back into it. So
All right.
thanks for tuning in.
All right, everybody. Appreciate you. We'll see you next
Catch you
week.
later.